my friends, in today's video, I'm gonna teach you 5 passing techniques that every midfielder out there should master. So if you want to have your passing technique on lock, in order for you to find your teammates, well, in your sleep basically, stay with me. And we can start with the short pass, obviously, which is the bread and butter for most football players, but especially for midfielders, because this is what you'll be doing like most of the time. So it's really good to have this technique on lock. So a good short pass is one that A, goes to its intended target, and B, stays low on the ground with a good solid pace that makes it easy for your teammate to receive it, control it, and then do something with it right away. A bad short pass is something where they have to stretch or it's too hard to control that slows the game down. Now, the key to achieving this good short pass lies a lot in the standing foot. So when you place it beside the ball, you want to ensure that it actually points towards your teammate. And then as you basically swing your striking foot to hit the ball, you want to open up your hip, show that side of the leg, and then you want to strike the ball with the flat part of the instep. Not the heel, not the flat part of the forefoot, but the flat part of like the middle of your foot, the instep. So it looks like that. See, what I also did there was that I have a really quick, snappy follow through. My foot doesn't go across my body, it just goes like boop, because that gives it this really nice, direct, no-nonsense sensation on the pass. Of course, if you want to make a longer version of this, you got to have a longer follow through to get a little bit more power on it. But basically think about having as short as possible of a follow through to get that motion, that flat trajectory that you want. Boop. There we go. And the second pass is the ping. Personally, I love the ping, which is this amazing pass in the air that just flies very quickly and directly towards its target. Now, the key to a good ping pass is that you hit the ball right. Duh. But what you want to ensure is that you don't put spin on it. You want it to go straight and low through the air. So basically, again, what you do is that your plant foot needs to point at your target. Now, of course, if you just want to switch play to your teammates that's stationary, you point towards your teammates. But the ping is also amazing to actually hit a teammate that's running deep, put them through behind. That's really difficult to defend against. So if they are running, obviously you aim in front of them. So pointing towards your target, then you hit the ball with the top part of the instep. And then basically as you hit the ball, you go right below the center on the middle of the ball, okay? Basically also, as you've hit the ball, you want to ensure that you have a short, snappy follow through, one that stops before it goes too far across your body. Because if it does that, well, you're going to generate some spin. So the shortest follow through possible, hit it nice and cleanly, and then basically you get a very, like, something like this, you know? Boom. I love that pass. I love that pass. And from the slightly more spectacular ping pass, we also have something a little bit more solid, the reverse pass, which is also very, very useful to have. It could be that you're coming into the half space, running inside the pitch, and you have an attacker running deep. You just want to basically pierce the defense and put them through with a nice little sharp pass. But it could also just be that you're in midfield, you're not necessarily facing the right way, which is towards goal, and you don't really have time to stop the ball and make a regular short pass. That's when you can use the little whoop, reverse pass. Actually, it's a lot similar to the ping in the sense that you hit the ball with the same area, the top part of the instep right here, but you just hit the ball a little bit higher. So it's not below the center, it's just about maybe a little bit above the center of the ball, and also you hit it a little bit from above to make sure that the ball stays nice and low on the ground. Of course, your plant foot is not pointing at your target because you're basically hitting a pass at like 90-ish degrees or more. But you just have to get used to this of like wrapping your foot around the ball to get it going that way. What's really also important is that your follow through is very short and quick and snappy. Again, like something like that, that's not really gonna work. So if you come in, you go like that, boop. And then we have the low driven pass, which is this wonderful middle ground between a regular short pass and that amazing long ping pass. Because it's really good to cover a lot of ground really quickly with a nice direct pass. And as the name suggests, it's low and it's direct. Basically, if you have like an open path to your teammate, you just want to get it over there pronto the low driven is really good. Now, obviously, you can do it in many ways. You can lift it a little bit off the ground, just make sure that it's easy to control. Obviously, it can have a little bit of bounce, but my personal favorite is the grass cutter, which just basically looks as if it's just floating right on top of the pitch. And apart from, it's very effective, but it's also wildly aesthetically pleasing. But it also takes a little bit of technique to get right. Anyways, the key behind a good low-driven pass is that again, it hits the target and it's easy to control. So you want to make sure that your standing foot is once again pointing at your target, and then you actually hit it with the same area of your foot as the ping and the reverse pass, that top part of the instep. But just like with the reverse pass, and unlike the ping, you don't come from below the center and pull up. You basically come from above and hit the ball more or less at the center. To ensure that you create a little bit of backspin, think of it as like brushing down on the ball. And then of course, your follow through. It needs to be short. I'm not just talking short, it needs to be like short. Very, very snappy. I usually think of it as I just have to stop my foot and sometimes even pull it like back to get that very nice pop when I hit the ball. So it basically looks like this. Whoop. Stop the foot, nice, low driven. It's amazing. And the last pass that midfielders need in their locker is the ability to make a good first-time layoff pass to your teammate. Imagine that you get a really tricky pass that could be a high ball or just a short regular pass that's too hard or not directly at you, or it's bouncy, basically meaning that you have to take another touch to control it. And if there are opponents closing in, you might not have that time. And in that situation, it's really good to, of course, always scan the pitch so you know where your teammate is. And then just basically what is essentially, you make a controlled, hard first touch towards your teammate. Basically ensuring that you might not have the time to control the pass, but they will. So you gotta make it easy for your teammate to control your layoff, meaning that when the ball comes in, you kind of match the trajectory of the ball, and then you try to take as much of the power out of the ball to make sure that it's just easy for them to control. So when the opponents then rush towards them, they can take a touch, pass you the ball, now you're open, and you're laughing all the way to the back. So maybe something like this, I look, oh, that's tricky. Just like that, easy. And of course, it's nice to have even more passing techniques in your locker. There is, of course, the long swerve pass, which is always nice to have. If you want to really ball, there's the trivela, which is also very aesthetically pleasing, but a little bit difficult. And finally, if you've really got it going on, obviously that lovely half volley where you hit the ball a little bit of top, make it bounce on the ground and go very straight and directly to a teammate as well. But the 5 I've listed here, to me at least, are very, very important to master. And if you can do that and combine it with a very good level of always scanning the pitch, knowing where your teammates are, it will take you far as a midfielder. So just go out and train. Technique is everything, guys. Knowing it is one thing, but actually feeling it, knowing how to do it and doing it instinctively is a completely different thing. So train, and then go and tell us what we should teach you next in the comment section right down below. Need new boots? Well, we have them in the link to Unisport right over there. What you should also do is subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Yeah, we're 5.3 million subscribers, but we want to be more. Okay? Awesome. I'll see you later. Cheerio.